Are you enjoying this podcast? Do you want more of it? Well, now you can get it. The Year is now on Patreon. And for as little as £3 a month, you can get access to a new weekly bonus episode. Do you want that? Do you want discounts to live show tickets? Do you want early access to public episodes? Well, then go to www.patreon.com/theyearispod and sign up fucking now.
The Year Is with Red and Bobby.
Welcome to the Year Is podcast, the podcast where every episode we travel back to a year in history and we talk about the weirdest, the most interesting, the strangest, the fucked up things from that year. And this episode, we have a guest co-host. You might know her from her many television appearances, from being fired from Debenhams when she was 16, from being my current wife, Harriet Kemsley.
Hello.
Hello. Wow, it's crazy. We haven't seen each other in so long.
I think this will be the longest conversation we've had since our baby was born. I think this is the most one-on-one time I think we will have spent.
Well, we have spent blocks of time alone, but I would say a lot of that just leads to us both being on our phones trying to catch up with our lives.
Yeah, this feels intense. I haven't looked in your eyes this long for a while.
This really could determine whether or not we stay married. Because, like, if at the end of this, we're like, that felt like a date, and I don't know if I want to do it again.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Great. Well, I feel so happy that you are guest hosting this podcast because I was often guest on your podcast, Why Is Harriet Crying?
Well, it took a while.
Yeah, it did. You didn't have me on for maybe 50 episodes.
Yeah, you'd always sit on the other side of the door, just look really sad.
Yeah, and you had many comedians who I was more successful than and funnier than in that room, and I'd listen to them be less funny than I could be.
Wow.
Thinking someday maybe I'll get to be on the podcast.
Well, why do you think we didn't invite you on for that long?
Because I wanted it too bad.
That's it, yeah. You got to want it less.
Okay.
You got to be cooler, you know. You weren't cool enough for the podcast.
Well, you showed no interest in being on this podcast. Never even asked, when can I be on?
Haven't listened to it. I have no idea what happens. I have enough You and Red time. I do not need to listen in my free time to more of You and Red talking. There is nothing worse I can think of.
That's so awful. No, this is an entertainment show. This is our best that we have to offer.
No, I know. Someone must like it, and it's good you're doing it for them.
Oh, now if the people are wondering, Red has made it to Thailand and has not been imprisoned in a hospital.
I'm so relieved. I was convinced. It was like the most Red thing that would happen would be that Red was just put in a Thai jail for 14 days.
Well, it was like a prison, but a hospital. But
yeah.
it would have been great. It would have been the funniest thing that's ever happened to Red.
It's just great when Red suffers. It's so fun to watch.
He sent a voice note that I'd like to play. I'll try playing it through the mic. If it doesn't work,
his voice note.
If it doesn't work, we'll add it in post.
Poor Rosie, his wife, I think had just the most stressful journey with Red just freaking out the whole way about whether he was going to be put in a Thai hospital.
Yeah, he said I thought that, once Red was on his honeymoon, I'd hear from him in 3 weeks. No, he called me every day. He hasn't called the last couple of days, but the first 3 days he called me. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, "You're on your honeymoon." I would say generally people don't call their friends every day on their honeymoon.
Did you call anyone on our honeymoon?
I don't think so. I didn't know it was allowed. I would have.
I think you lost all your stuff though, so
I had a phone, though. I just lost my bag and walked around in tourist T-shirts.
Yeah, it was funny. All the Bobby's stuff went missing, and then he had to just wear I Heart Santorini T-shirts.
And I did heart Santorini.
Yeah, it was nice.
So it didn't feel like a stretch for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to play this note that Red sent. With you don't need much context. I think Red was just talking to some locals.
So how's it doing? How old do you think I look, by the way?
45 years old.
Why? What? I look 25, surely.
Because it's your body.
My body? Why? What's wrong with my body?
You fat.
Okay, but what about my face?
Maybe you have to. You have to let your body is more skinny.
Okay, I need to. All right. We've heard it here.
Thank you so much. That was so good.
What's great is you can hear Rosie in the background saying, "Brilliant, darling. Thank you so much. That was so good."
What's great is wherever Red goes in the world, people are mean to him. Like, he can't go anywhere. He goes to Thailand and still, within a few days, everyone is ripping the piss out of him.
There's just something about his face that looks like you just want to make fun of him.
Yeah.
It is like that Dave Attell joke where Dave Attell has that great joke where he says, "You ever make fun of somebody so much you want to thank them for all the good times?" I feel like the world should thank Red for all the joy that he brings them just by being. Oh, it's so good. Just because you're fat.
I like the bit when she said you need to let yourself have more skin. It's crashing, absolutely crashing.
We went to Thailand.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back actually.
Okay. Well,
It was nice. We could do with a holiday, I think.
no, this is our holiday. This hour-long conversation.
No, this is a bad holiday.
Okay, well, I haven't even told you what year we're going back to.
Okay.
No, you have to look, Harriet, you have to try to be excited.
I am excited. I'm so
There's-
tired. I'm so tired. We have a young baby and I'm working. And then you were like, "Do you want to do a podcast?" And I was like, "Yes." I am excited to do a podcast. I'm just very tired.
You know, here's the thing. If you weren't my guest,
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd be reviewed very well as a guest.
Who's reviewing me?
Me and Jody.
Don't review. I'll review you.
What are you
I'm going to review you, and I'm going to say very critical host. Actually,
I'm just saying, like, how is if you were my wife, there's some woman named Harriet. How is Harriet as a guest? Well, she kept saying how tired she was and she didn't want to be there. I thought I was expecting, usually when you ask someone to be a guest on something, they're honored. They think, well, maybe I'll sell some tickets to my tour that is happening in the fall. You're on tour in the fall, right, Harriet?
Yeah,
maybe.
but your listeners, Jody's already told me it's like 75% men.
Yeah, well, guess what? Men need to laugh too, Harriet. And lots of women support this podcast. Thank you very much.
Less women.
This podcast is like Fortnite. Mostly men, but some women.
I don't know what Fortnite is.
Exactly. And that's why.
So what year are you going to? I'm trying to be interested.
No,
What year is it?
You're trying to get it over with. You're like, the quicker we say all the things, I can leave.
I just want to have a lie down.
Okay. We're going back.
We got a babysitter for this.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I actually, the babysitter, to be honest, is a pretty energetic lady.
Yeah, she's got a lot of energy, yeah.
I have a feeling she might be a better guest than you.
I agree.
Like when she walked in,
She'll be way more enthusiastic about doing your podcast.
Yeah, she has a lot more pep in her step.
Yeah.
Maybe mid-podcast, actually, depending on how this goes, you might be replaced. The fact that you'd be happy about it is the only reason I wouldn't do it. The only reason I wouldn't do it is because it would bring you joy.
Thank you. That's marriage.
Okay, so we're going back.
Sorry, I'm just having a drink. What's wrong with you?
We're going back.
What? Why can't I have a drink?
You can. I'm just looking at you. That's just how I look at you.
Maybe you were like disgusted that I was having a drink. No, tell me, what year?
1959.
That's not what you told me.
What did I tell you?
You told me we would go back to a different year.
No, I changed my mind.
Why?
Because I wanted to trip you up.
Why do you want to trip me up? This is exactly why I don't want to do this podcast.
No,
I don't want to get
you
tripped up. I just want to live a nice life.
Harriet, stop saying you don't want to do the podcast. It's already happening. I've never had a worse guest than you. I can't imagine a worse guest than you coming on and being like, I'd rather be anywhere else. Is there a ditch? Would you rather, honestly, if there was a dry, warm ditch, would you rather lie in that right now than be here?
If I had a blanket. 1959, why?
Because I was sitting and thinking about you. And I was thinking, what did Harriet like when she was a girl?
My parents.
What?
If they were born in 1959, is that what you're thinking?
No, it had nothing to do with your parents.
That's when they were born.
That's quite personal. I didn't.
Yeah, I know. Well, you picked the year they were born.
Really?
Yeah.
That was complete coincidence, actually. What do you know about the year?
That was the year my parents were born,
I-
and it was the year before 1960.
That's an obvious
Yeah,
statement.
when the 60s started, it was the year before.
Okay, well, we know two things. No, also, I thought, when Harriet was a child, I was just thinking about you yesterday. You were trying on dresses, and I hate watching you try on dresses because...
Thank you.
Because
Yes.
you would just be like, I look horrible in this dress. And I hate...
No, I won't.
Sometimes you're like, but there's an insecurity that you see when anyone tries on a dress.
Well, it's a vulnerable thing to try on a dress.
Yeah, but I always think...
Especially if someone says, I hate watching you try on dresses. It probably makes me feel a bit insecure.
What I hate about it is that you don't think you look great all the time. I think I look awesome all the time.
No, I know, but you could do with less of that. Everybody thinks you could do with less of that and put more thought into your general outfits. Today, actually, you look all right, but your socks are disgusting. And
We don't
you've
need to-
had the
they're
same
not on
socks.
camera, Harriet.
You've
The
had-
socks are not
Yeah,
camera
but
socks.
I can see them, and you've
They're-
had the same socks for about the whole time I've known you. I think you bought a pack from Sports Direct in 2011.
What is this?
And you still have the same ones, and they're grey and disgusting.
Well, when this podcast is over, I'm going to throw away all my socks.
Well, then you're just not going to wear socks. This is the problem.
No,
You have to
I'm-
replace them first. You knew what you were getting when you invited me on this podcast. You knew.
Okay. I thought about this kind of body insecurity that comes out when you try on a dress.
Why wouldn't I thought you were going to do about the first female stand-up.
That didn't work out the way I wanted it to.
Why?
It just didn't go that way.
Okay, that sounded interesting.
This is going to be interesting.
Okay.
Just
I know, but I'm not that insecure when I'm trying dresses. I just have to pick the best one.
just let me finish my thought.
And if you're just sitting there thinking, oh, Harriet hates how she looks and I hate watching her, then that's going to make me more insecure.
I don't hate watching you.
You just said, I hate it when you try on dresses.
I hate. I would love it if you were secure in how you look no matter what you were wearing.
Well, I would love it if you were less secure. So we both have some work to do.
Okay.
Just wear underwear sometimes. Like just wear underwear or at least have a belt that keeps your pubic hair from sight. Like you can't have your pubic hair out when Mabel's older because it's just like her friends. It'll be too embarrassing.
I get what you're saying.
Thank you.
And that is actually a perfect link into our new sponsor.
Who would sponsor you and wants to be associated with your pubic hair?
Manscaped.com
Oh my God.
is an amazing company. Harriet, tell these people what you thought when I shaved my face.
It actually was great because your beard when it's long is disgusting. You get bits of food stuck in it. Like sometimes when you loom close, like I can smell if you had soup. Like it's just
Soup.
your beard like sucks it up like tentacles, and it absorbs like the moisture and the flavor. And it's much better for me when your beard is shorter. And you can't do it yourself, so often I sometimes have to trim it with nail scissors, or you do it yourself, and then there's just like hair everywhere.
But not anymore.
No, it was a wonderful surprise. I like it when you look a bit more together and then you get mistaken as homeless less. And that's just nice all around. I have to say, I think this is a good time to tell this story maybe. Do you remember the first time that we officially started dating? And then I went back to yours, and it was the first time we were kind of sleeping together as boyfriend and girlfriend. And you had shaved your body in preparation, and it was like how I imagine the Somme looked. After,
because at the
the
time
battle,
I
there was blood everywhere. It was horrific.
Yeah, because at the time I didn't know about Manscaped.com.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah, thank God for Manscaped.com because
And
it was a bloodbath.
my balls and pubic region were bleeding. There was a lot of blood. And it's not, I would say it's not enjoyable to have sex with a man whose genitals are bleeding.
And is making this noise.
Yeah, well, it really hurt.
Ooh.
But with Manscaped, they sent me this performance pack and it has everything you need to groom your entire body. And no longer are my genitals bleeding during sex.
Yeah. Well, since that moment, 10 years ago, you never shaved any of them.
I
I
had
think.
PTSD, but now
Yes, I had PTSD. But now that you are and you're doing it in like a responsible manner, I think it's and it's easy as well because you need things that are easy. Otherwise, you're just not going to do it.
Yeah, and can you genuinely, would you say your sexual attraction to me has increased
Yes.
since I've trimmed my
Yes,
body hair?
Genuinely, just you putting any kind of effort, just like a small amount of effort into something is attractive.
So if you think maybe I want my husband to be better, or if you're sitting there thinking, I wish my wife or girlfriend liked me, Manscaped.com can help. And if you go there right now and use the promo code YEARIS, you will get 20% off their products plus free shipping. So that means you'll get for not that much money, you can make your wife love you again today, or husband.
Yeah, or at least have sex with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or even if you're just having one night stands and you're fucking strangers.
Respect them, give them some respect.
Yeah, just groom well.
Please. It also makes your dick look bigger.
That's a good point.
And 20% is a good discount, like because sometimes it's like 10%. You're like, is it even worth filling in the code? You know what I mean? Like it's annoying. Like 20% is a substantial amount. It's good.
Yeah, substantial. The reason we're going back to 1959 is because, like I was trying to say, I was thinking about your body insecurity. And then
What is your problem?
I started thinking about where does it come from?
Because I just had a baby, probably.
No, it existed the same, right? But before you were ever pregnant, you looked in the mirror and grimaced just as much.
I didn't. Bobby.
Yes,
what is
you
your
did.
problem?
So I think it comes from these little Barbie dolls you used to play with. These little scrawny dolls that made you think, why aren't I 7 feet tall and skinny like Bobby? You want my body.
You said Bobby, like Bobby.
I know. Like Bobby. You want. That's what I meant to
Have
say.
you told everybody about how
That's what I meant to say.
people you're called Barbie.
No. I have.
Bobby thinks that English people can't understand when he says his name is Bobby.
They can't.
So to try and help them, he says, hello, I'm Barbie. And then they say, your name's Barbie. And he goes, no, Bobby. It's the stupidest. I've seen you have this interaction so many times. It's so dumb.
No, but I say Bobby, and then they think they go Barbie, and I'm like, my name's not Barbie.
No, but then you go in first, you say, hi, I'm Barbie. And
No,
then
I
you
don't say that.
I've seen you say it so many times because you think if you say Barbie, then they think Bobby. It's so dumb.
No, it's just okay.
And they say your name is Barbie. It's so weird, Bobby.
The point I was making was what you want is you want my figure. You want to be 6 feet tall.
Absolutely not. Your figure
And
is
skinny.
the weirdest figure. I do not want your figure, Bobby.
That's what you want. And
I would like it if you ate more, actually, and you became stronger.
I
Seeing
would-
as we're criticizing each other's bodies
I'm
right
not
now.
criticizing your body.
I would like it if you just worked out once in a while. If you just did
okay, we don't need to go into that.
a push-up, just some kind of strength so that you
That's
don't
not
go
what
like,
we're talking about.
when you try and do
1959 was the year Barbie came to be.
I know. I've been writing about this stuff. It's what I'm talking about in my show.
Oh, you're on
So
tour,
why-
right?
Yes.
Well, maybe you could act excited to fucking be here. So,
You go too hard.
the Barbie
You
doll.
go too hard and then we have to bring it back. Like, you don't need to yell.
The Barbie doll was
Yes.
invented in 1959.
The Bobby doll, yes. Hi, I'm Barbie. Your name's Barbie? No, Bobby. Oh, God. Like, you can't say your own name. Like,
I can. It's just a different accent.
You go, it's Bobby.
No, I have to say Bobby because they think when I say Bobby, they think I'm saying Barbie. And I. This is outrageous. So
okay,
yeah,
the Barbie doll was invented.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have a story to tell you that I don't think you know.
Pause where you find the story.
Okay, so Barbie was based on an R-rated German doll.
What do you mean by R-rated?
R-rated, adult.
Like a sexy doll?
A sexy little fuck doll.
That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
No.
The concept, yes, it is true. Handler.
Where'd you get this information from?
Just, Harry, you have to trust
No,
that
where is it from, though? Wikipedia.
No, it's not from Wikipedia.
It's from Wikipedia. Where's it from?
Harry, this is true.
Okay. They based a children's toy for sex doll.
Look at that doll. You don't think Barbie's little fuck doll? Come on. So what happened was, originally, what you need to know was, Barbie was created by an engineer who used to work for the Pentagon. Jack Ryan began his career as an engineer making missiles for the Pentagon.
No.
But was eventually hired away by Mattel for his space-age savvy and knowledge of materials. His design helped give Barbie her twistable waist and click-click knee joints. How funny is it that a guy, he was like, listen, I'm enjoying launching rockets at people, but I was thinking I wanted to hurt the public in a more insidious way. What if I just sucked girls' self-esteems away slowly? That way we don't have to kill them, but they'll eventually lose their own will to live.
Yeah. The slow approach. My favourite fact about Barbie is that if her statistics were made into an adult woman, she wouldn't be able to keep her own head up. She'd just have to like drag her head along the ground.
So, though Ryan designed Barbie...
Excuse me?
I can't speak.
Duran design, Bobby.
The concept came from Mattel co-founder.
What did you say before?
Though Ryan designed Barbie,
right, okay. Yeah.
The concept came from Mattel co-founder Ruth Handler. Handler was traveling through Europe with her kids when she came across the German-born Bild Lily doll, who was anything but kid-friendly. Lily was a high-class call girl who began her life as a comic and was sold in smoke shops, adult toy stores, and other not kid-friendly places. But Handler, who had mentioned the idea of an adult doll to her Mattel exec husband before, liked what she saw. Though her husband Elliot had initially balked at the idea, the Lily doll sold him on the concept. Though Bild Lily manufacturer initially sued Mattel for patent infringement, the case was eventually dismissed and Mattel officially bought the rights to the doll for $21,600. So here's what happened. These people in Germany, and they saw a little prostitute doll with creepy proportions, and they thought, we want our kids to play with that.
Is this true?
Harriet,
how are we meant to know if it's true or not?
these are
Are
facts.
people actually trusting you for information?
They don't trust me.
Is this what the podcast is? You tell people information and then they believe it, because the amount of times you've told me information, then I've gone and I've told people things that you've said, and then they've said, is that true? And then I'm like, fuck, I don't know if that's true. And then you've just told me false information.
Yeah, but that was when I was intentionally lying to you.
But how do I know
That's
you're not
different.
intentionally lying to me now? You've given me a complex. I don't know if you're telling me the truth or not.
These are fun. I've read this. I've read like 3 sources for this information.
I'm just saying, be careful what you listen to, because
Okay.
I'm not sure if you should be getting your information from Bobby and Red. That's what I'm saying. I think it's good that you listen to the podcast, but I'm just saying, keep an open mind, and Google
Harriet.
is your friend. It's good to check things out.
Let's give an
Yourself.
example. So what you're talking about is one time, almost 10 years ago, I convinced you that it was legal in Canada to have sex with a beaver. That's really what we're talking about right now. And you have not forgiven me because you walked around.
I told people.
And you walked around for a week thinking it was true. And I got a different Canadian. I whispered in his ear. And so he knew and he confirmed to you that it was true.
Yes.
So you walked around for a week thinking that in Canada, people are allowed to fuck beavers. And you've never forgotten that.
I told people.
And what did they do when you told them that?
Looked at me like I was fucking nuts. Until finally someone told me the truth and was like, where did you hear that from? And I was like, Bobby. And they were like, Bobby is making that up. That is not true. Don't listen to Bobby. So why would I get my information from you?
But then you have to, for the sake of the next 40 minutes, you just have to believe what I'm saying.
It's a lifetime of, you've made it impossible for me.
Are there other lies I've told you?
Yeah, probably. How am I meant to know? This is the problem. I'm just going around saying things and I don't know if they're true or not. So excuse me if I'm going to have some caution listening to your tales.
These aren't...
Barbie was based on a sex doll.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yes. What do you think about that?
I don't believe it.
You have to believe it. Harriet, please, for the sake of the rest of the podcast, just take what I say as fact.
I think it's very important to question things. In a post-fact world, I think it's very important to question information that you're given. Particularly by two little liars like you and Red.
People are coming to this podcast, Harriet, to get information.
Then for God's sake, they need to look at their lives. I'm sorry. If this is where you get your information from, it's absurd. There's genuine historical podcasts around that people can listen to where you can actually learn things.
But when you look at Barbie, can you not see the prostitute doll inside of Barbie?
I don't know if you're meant to say prostitute anymore.
Okay. When you look at Barbie, can you not see the sex worker doll? Come on.
I don't know sex worker dolls. When have I seen a sex worker doll before?
Barbie.
Okay, yes. I guess she is appealing to most men in a... That's what they're going for, maybe. Her dimensions are what generally men innately are drawn towards.
Not me.
I'm going to kick you so hard.
Because
what?
If I was married to Barbie, we'd have the same body.
You don't have a body like Barbie. What is wrong with you? You have body dysmorphia. You think your body is so amazing.
I think I'm somewhere between Ken and Barbie.
Bobby, do you know who you are? This is how you have the worst posture. You walk around with an absolute hunch. You eat a bowl of shreddies and you forget to eat anything else all day. You're wasting away in front of everybody.
I'm not wasting away.
You do not look like Barbie. What is wrong with you?
This is outrageous.
You look like, if you look like anyone, you look like that man in Scooby-Doo. That's who you look like. Who's that man? The one with it's like Scooby, like he's got the high Shaggy. Yeah, you look like Shaggy. That's who you look like.
Okay. Did you play with Barbies when you were a kid?
More Polly Pockets.
Tell me about that.
I mean, if you really knew me, you'd go back to the year the Polly Pockets were invented. Tell you about it.
Yeah. Tell me about Polly Pockets.
What do you mean? Tell you about it. They're like little tiny dolls that you can put in your pocket and they live in a little world and you carry them around in your pocket. It's great.
That's what?
What do you mean?
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, obviously. What did you play with?
G.I. Joes.
No, you just played with a ball that you just bounced over and over again like a psychopath kid.
No, I don't. I wasn't a psychopath kid. I just had a horrific childhood. So my way of coping with it was I laid on a bed and I bounced a ball off the ceiling for 6 hours a day like I was in prison just waiting to get out. And in a way I was. I really was good at bouncing that ball off the ceiling and living in my own imaginary world. Yeah.
Did you not have any toys?
I had toys. No, it wasn't that I didn't like my toys. It was just I just wanted to escape into my own mind, so I did that. I had lots of toys.
What would you think about while you're lying there?
I had a world I had constructed through G.I. Joes that was like so they were at war, the G.I. Joes, and they'd been at war for a long time, not dissimilar to like a civil war, and they were just trying to win this war. So I would just kind of play with them in my head. And
That's how lazy you are, that you wouldn't actually even
No,
you wouldn't
it was-
even get the real dolls. You would imagine them playing in your head. That is how lazy you are.
I love that I'm talking about how I dealt with my horrible childhood. And you're like, yeah, because you're fucking lazy. It's like, oh, thank you, voice in my head. I really appreciate you chiming in.
Your logic is absolutely flawed, though, because if you grew up with G.I. Joes, then how come you're so body confident, even though you look nothing like a G.I. Joe?
I just think I look good.
I know you do. I know you do. It's amazing. You put no effort in whatsoever. Yeah, you're completely confident.
But what, like, do you think animals sit around thinking about how they look? Do you think a dog wakes up and thinks, I'm ugly?
No, who do you think I am? What are you talking about?
Well,
Of course I don't think that.
do the animals seem happier than we do?
Bobby, what is this? What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to point out.
I know exactly what happened. I did a TV show last night, and then at 2 a.m, I was awake because sometimes you get like quite wide after doing a TV show. And then I was like annoyed because I had a low cut top, which I never wear on TV because I'm always a bit self-conscious. And then I had a bit of bra sticking out. And I was just like, oh, I just wish that I just sorted out my bra. And now Bobby has decided to go use this podcast as to try and improve my confidence, even though I'm absolutely fine and I don't need it. And actually, you just need less confidence. So I'm going to take over this podcast and try and give you less confidence.
No, you're doing it.
Great.
It's happening. Now, we recently went skiing, didn't we, Harriet?
Yes.
How did that go for your family?
Great. We had a lovely time.
No, really, though. How did it go? What
really
happened?
nice. Thank you. It was really nice to be with my family and to snowboard again for the first time in 3 years.
What happened to you?
So I might have, there was poor visibility and I might have accidentally fallen on my head really hard and then got a mild concussion.
Okay, anyone else in the family harmed?
Yeah, my sister fucked her knee and then she tore her ACL and she's going to need an operation.
Anything else?
Yeah, my dad got stuck in a time loop.
Can you explain that?
It's the most terrifying moment of my life. It was so terrifying. We were at the top of the mountain and he'd had COVID a couple of weeks before and I think he went too fast and he just went into a time loop and we didn't know he was on a time loop for a while and then he was just, he just didn't know where he was and we'd tell him something and then he'd forget and then like a few minutes later he was just on this like few minute time loop. Then we had to call the medics and they had to come and like put him in a blood wagon and take him down the mountain. And my dad is not someone that like accepts help easily.
Nobody knows what a blood wagon is.
It's like basically a coffin that you put between two skiers and they like take the coffin down the mountain and you're in the coffin.
Okay.
It's fucking terrifying. Then they took him to a hospital. And he was like messaging us and was like, why have you put us in this hospital? Like, what is going on? And we were like, oh my God, he's stuck in this time loop forever. It's so terrifying. But what we didn't know is that he'd got out of the time loop 2 hours before, but just nobody had told us. So he was just messing with us and was like, haha, why you put me in the hospital, guys? Isn't it funny to make fun of the time loop? Yes. And then me and my mum got norovirus on the plane back. So yes, it was an intense week.
So I just want to let you know.
Yes.
You're not, because I wanted a beach vacation and you want skiing for the rest of our lives. You want to ski.
I just want to be able to snowboard. Yeah, I love snowboarding. Like you love golf. Like you get to golf all the time. When do I get to snowboard?
Not dangerous though.
If you get hit on the head with a golf ball.
Okay. I just wanted to let you know, in 1959, 9 ski hikers mysteriously perished in the northern Ural Mountains in the Dyatlov Pass incident and are all found dead a few weeks later.
Well, I'm not going to hike. Why would I want to hike? That sounds bleak.
Yeah, well, hiking is safer than skiing.
What? That is not a true fact.
What do you mean?
You just made up a fact. You can't just
Hiking
make
is safer
up
than
facts.
skiing.
Yeah, not if they're like in a blizzard or something and they're just hiking up because they're not on like an actual like piste.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to let you know what happened to these people when they were on a mountain. Because clearly your family being cursed.
Right, well, I'm going to find a fact about a golfer that died. So you can tell me that, and I'm going to find a fact about something bad that happened to a golfer. So we can both tell each other facts.
Okay, so they don't really know what happened. The people disappeared. 6 of the group members died of
Swedish
hypothermia.
former professional golfer Frederick Anderson has died of cancer.
Okay, well, that's not anything. That's horrible.
Age 49 is very young.
That's horrible.
I know it's horrible.
That's something that happened to someone who golfs. That's not a golf-related.
Argentine golfer Eduardo Romero has died of cancer.
Yeah, but Harriet, that's just another man dying of cancer.
Jack Newton has died.
I think Jack Newton was like 92. How old was he?
Yeah, 72.
Okay.
Justin Regal, on an on-course accident, was killed when a tree crashed into the pro shop. So actually, a golf cart sunk in a canal. Somebody died in that. Actually, very dangerous. So, there we go.
This is worse. 6 of the group members died of hypothermia and 3 of fatal injuries. There were no indications of other people nearby. The tent had been ripped open from within.
I'm not going to stay in a tent.
The victims
Obviously, I'm not going to go and stay in a tent. I want to stay in a nice hotel, ideally with a swimming pool.
had died 6 to 8 hours after their last meal. Traces from the camp showed that all of the group members left the campsite on their own accord on foot. Some levels of radiation were found in one victim's clothing.
Well, what's that to do with?
To dispel the theory of an attack,
Where did the radiation
a guy
come from?
stated the injuries of the 3 bodies could not have been caused by human beings because the force of the blows had
Aliens.
been too strong and no soft tissue had been damaged.
Well, there were blows.
There were blows.
This has nothing to do with skiing.
It was
No.
So it was a brutal.
If they'd been skiing, they might have been safer because they just could have skied down.
They think what happened was an avalanche hit these people and fucked them up, like blew their eyes out of the sockets.
Why was there radiation?
That unclear about the radiation.
So we don't actually know what happened at all.
No.
Whereas we do know that these golfers died of cancer.
I am in the golf world and it's horrible to bring up specific names,
I agree, it's absolutely horrible.
but they had just had cancer. That happens to everyone. Do you want to know what I'm going to die of?
What?
Do you want to know what I'm going to die of?
What?
Cancer, the same way everyone else is.
No, I think your heart will get you long before cancer.
Why do you think my heart will get me?
Your diet. Mainly your diet and lack of exercise.
I have lots of exercise. Go golfing. Okay. In 1959, the Soviet Union conducted its first census since World War II. I think it's so funny that they just didn't do a census after World War II for 14 years because they were just like, yeah, it seems like there's a couple less people than there was before the war. We're not really sure how many, but yeah, we lost some people. And then they did a census and they realized that 27 million Russians had died.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's a bad day. Like, we've crunched the numbers and it appears.
How many people die a year, though? Over 14 years, that might be the amount of people that die, though. Is that true or not?
No, that was the number of people that died. Soviets that died during World War II.
Oh, yeah. But then no one died afterwards.
What
In
is wrong
the
with-
14 years since is what I'm saying. People didn't die. There has to be people that die in between.
Of course they did. I was just telling you how many people died during World War II.
Okay.
You thought I was telling you that after World War II, no one died in
No, I'm
Russia
just
for 14
saying
years? Like
The
it was.
total.
You think Russia was some enchanted nation with Stalin in charge?
Well, like after COVID, there was like less deaths now.
Yeah, because all the vulnerable people have been wiped
I know,
out.
it's awful. You can't take part in a census anyway because I'm from here. Or can you?
I think I could still
Okay,
take part in the
yeah, you
census.
can't
It's just
vote.
if you live here,
You
I
can't
can't
vote.
vote. Yeah, I've never voted.
It's a disgusting fact.
But I don't live. I can't vote in this country.
Yeah, but you could have voted when you lived in Canada and you chose not to.
I didn't know how. I wore a trench coat every day. I wasn't at a point in my life.
What?
Like I had a trench coat that one of my dead uncles.
Like a flasher?
No, but I would wear clothes under it. But like I would go to gigs wearing a trench coat every day. I say that
Would
only
they
to
go
say,
well?
yeah. A lot of the time I was good at comedy, but I say that to say only like I wasn't at a point in life where I knew where you would vote.
Do you think you're at that point now?
I am at that point now. I can vote across the road, but I'm not allowed.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the primary school.
I'm not allowed to vote.
Yeah.
Once I get permanent residency, then I can vote.
When are you going to do that?
Like I can get it. It all depends if you divorce me. That's the worry.
How long do I have?
No, you can't. That's what a horrible thing to have. Like just so what?
No, I'll let you get residency. When do you?
No. I thought you meant you were gonna wait till like the day before and be like, nah, you gonna leave now. Oh, you want to see Mabel? Well, you're gonna have to buy a plane ticket.
When is it though?
In about a year and a half.
Oh, really?
How do you not know this stuff?
I don't know.
What if I told you, oh, Harriet, I kind of just forgot about my visa, so I have to leave the country.
That would make absolute sense. I would not be surprised at all if you said that.
What would you do? Let's say I'm gone. How would your life change?
Very little. I wouldn't have to do podcasts like this in the day.
You're such a bully.
What, you want another example? I can't think of another example. I got asked when I was like 11 to do like an exchange thing with a girl that lived in Russia, and I like thought about it, but then I think I wouldn't have been able to I wouldn't have liked like all the furs, and I wouldn't have liked the food
and the war in Ukraine.
This was years ago.
So wait, so you wanted to go?
I wanted to go, but then I thought it'd be a bit cold, and I wouldn't be able to eat any of the food because I only ate white bread and rice then. So I think it might have been tricky.
Why wouldn't you have anything other than white bread and rice?
Because I was vegetarian and allergic and just very fussy. That was the main thing.
But at that age, you didn't know you were allergic to raw fruit and vegetables, right?
No, but it would make my mouth hurt. And then everyone would be like, you have to eat it. And I'd be like, it really hurts my mouth. My mouth is really itchy. And everyone would be like, oh, well, suck it up. Stop lying. So it gives you maybe a little bit of a...
How long did that go on for?
Well, until I went into anaphylactic shock. And then everyone was like, okay, I guess we believe you.
When you were going to anaphylactic shock and possibly going to die, were you like, I fucking told you?
Vindicated at last. My throat swelled up.
How was it like? Did you have to go to hospital that time?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't know if it was anaphylactic shock. It was definitely like a severe reaction, but like I'm not sure if it was at that stage.
No, you keep saying this.
We need to not have this argument again on the podcast, but I don't think my allergies are as bad as everyone says they are.
Well, the problem with your theory that your allergies aren't as bad as we think they are is if you're right, great.
Yeah.
But if you're wrong,
bad.
You die.
Yeah.
It's not really like we can test your theory.
Yeah.
You can go. You want to test your theory, Harriet. But I'd say it's a coin flip that you might die, even if it was 10%, even if 90% chance.
No, because I just used the EpiPen.
Yeah, but you can still die. That
well,
happens.
Especially as you know, this morning I went to renew my EpiPens because I realised that they expired in 2018. So I've been carrying around these EpiPens. So it's not the time to check this stuff out.
Yeah, you get so angry when I tell you I think your allergies could kill you, and you're like,
you make such a fuss about it. It's so annoying.
What a crate of all the things to complain about. My husband makes such a fuss about wanting to keep me alive. And he gets really angry when I say that I think I'm just going to try stuff out and see if it kills me.
We just don't need anger. I just want less anger. Like just more like chilled, like less anger.
You'll always get anger when you tell me I'm just going to eat like an apple and see what happens. I don't tell you.
I just try it and then I tell you afterwards when I feel a bit allergic, which is good to give you a heads up if I'm feeling an allergic reaction. Next time I won't tell you.
So anyone watching or listening to this is going to disagree with you heavily, Harriet. It's an insane thing to do.
Well, the thing is that the hospital, they were like, look, you just have to try things and just work out if you're allergic to them. It's so like archaic, like the whole thing. I had to get tested. They said, bring in a bag of fruit and vegetables. So I had to bring in a bag of fruit and vegetables to the hospital. Like, even though like I'm allergic to a lot of the fruit and vegetables, if I touch them, I get a rash. So like, bring this bag of fruit and vegetables, and then they like cut off a bit of it and they just put it on your arm, and then they just look to see where you get a big hive, and then they're like, oh, you got a big hive there. You're allergic to that one. They're like,
and do they write like banana above it?
Yeah. It's so stupid. And then you got loads of like Harvey and vegetables and fruit you're allergic to in a bag. It's like the dumbest thing. Like, surely we've moved on in medicine since then.
But after you were vindicated and you realized like, okay, I'm allergic to these, did your family like give it up? Were they like,
oh, absolutely. Yeah, now it's the other way. Now everyone's like, when my meal comes, they're like, take off the salad or do this. And it's like, guys, it's fine. Like, it's really fine.
It must have been amazing, though. You must have felt so...
Well, it was just so many years, and people would cut up an apple, and I'd be like, it really hurts like to eat this. And they're like, good try to get out of eating the apple, Harriet.
But did you say, like, did anyone say, did you get an apology where you were like, thank you?
No, you're right. I've never had an official apology. And as we celebrate the year of my parents' birth, I think it is time that I finally get my apology.
Well, I can't give it. I wasn't there.
No, not really. You've got other things you could apologize for. But
Everyone has things they can apologize for.
Am I being too mean to you? You think I'm being too mean to you?
No.
You're just really mean to Red all the time, so I thought I could be mean back to you.
I don't think you're being too mean to me. You're doing great. Don't doubt it.
I don't want people to think that I'm being really mean, but you just have to know the backlog of years of meanness from Bobby. And I guess if they listen to it and they hear you bully Red, then it's fine. The bully gets bullied.
I don't bully Red.
You're a bully.
In 1959, a chartered plane transporting musicians Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper goes down in foggy conditions near Clear Lake, Iowa, killing all 4 people on board.
Oh my God.
The tragedy is later termed the day the music died, popularized in John McClane's 1971 song, American Pie.
Oh, is that what that's from? I didn't know that.
You didn't know the song that American Pie? It's about Buddy Holly.
I thought it was about a pie. Isn't it about a pie?
What do you mean?
A cherry pie, like an American pie. Isn't that famous?
So let's go through the lyrics of Bye Bye American Pie. And if it...
I mean, what does put your Chevy to the levee mean? You don't know what it means. It could be about a pie. It's about like a classical American pie.
Okay. So we're just going to read the lyrics. A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. So you think music in that instance was actually slang for pie.
Yeah, like how nice the pie was.
And I knew if I had my chance that I could make those people dance and maybe they'd be happy for a while. So you think dance is again slang for eating somehow. But February...
Why'd they call it American Pie if it's not about pie?
But February made me shiver with every paper I deliver.
Yes, you want some pie because you're doing some nice warm pie.
Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. Okay, there's tragedy happening clearly.
Someone dropped a pie.
There's some bad news.
There's a dropped pie.
I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widowed bride. But something touched me deep inside the day the music died.
I'm not good with lyrics. Like, I never know. I can never hear what the lyrics are. Like, people need to pronounce more when they sing.
And then here's what you heard, which is the chorus. So bye, Miss American Pie. And you said, it's a song about pie.
Yeah, I just always thought is it in the video? Is there like a pie?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a video. It was made in like 1971.
They had videos in 1971.
But yeah, did you know, Harriet?
Yes.
Buddy Holly's wife.
Sorry, I'm just looking up about American Pie.
What are you looking up?
Bye, Miss. Bye. Oh no, I just put it in American Pie. Bye.
What are you gonna look up
Well, I
now?
was just looking to see if there's a pie because I just feel like I remember seeing a pie like somewhere.
Harriet, there might be a pie on like an album cover, but it's about
Chevy is a Chevrolet motor car, and a levee is a pier of quay. It was dry because there was no water where there should have been. Drove my Chevy to the dry quay.
I don't even think you're saying words right now. It's like you're someone who can read, but you don't know what words are.
It turns out you're actually wrong about the meaning behind this song.
Okay, what's the song about?
American Pie was not the name of the plane that rock and roll legend Buddy Holly died in.
I never said it was the name of the plane.
Miss American Pie is as American as apple pie, so the saying goes. She could also be a synthesis of the symbol and the beauty queen Miss America. That's what I thought, that it was like a American Pie pageant woman.
No, you didn't. You just made that up. You thought it was a song about pie.
So, the day the music died refers, of course, to Holly's untimely death on 3rd of February 1959, which McLean mourns as the end of the entire 50s era. But if you think this is what American Pie is about, you would greatly disappoint McLean, who is on record that his song has so much more to say in the verses that follow.
It is what the song's
There's
about.
religious imagery that emerges in the second verse, the sacred store, to the broken church bells, the fickle girl who McLean saw dancing in the gym no longer cares for his pink carnation and pickup truck.
Okay, Harriet, stop reading.
But they say you're very wrong.
That's not, you're lying.
It's true. There's a whole article about it, and somebody has written a book called Understanding American Pie. Yeah, and so they go through all the lyrics, and you're wrong. It's just about a pie. Okay, it might not be about a pie, but you're not right either.
I am right. It's an autobiographical story about the time in his life when he was in high school and Buddy Holly and the Big Bopper and the other guy died.
It's actually about the cynicism of this generation that had annihilated the innocent world the narrator had grown up in.
Harriet, that's the theme of the song.
And about how the tragedy burst the bubble of youth culture's illusions about itself.
Okay, can we put the phone down?
We can both look things up on the internet, Bobby.
Yeah, but when you look things up, you're still wrong.
Well, you've had all time to prepare. You didn't let me prepare. You said, don't worry, you don't need to prepare anything. And you just bombarded me with lies.
It's not a historical debate.
Oh, you know what the facts of history are. Oh, interesting. You're rewriting history and it's Bobby and Red's history.
Okay. What I wanted to say was, do you know how Buddy Holly's wife found out he died?
No, why would I want to know that? It seems private.
Well, she was watching TV.
Oh, God.
And then they reported that Buddy Holly was dead.
That's horrible.
And then she found her husband died from TV. Then she had a miscarriage.
Bobby.
And then they made a law where they would never again tell anyone, because they hadn't had that kind of an issue before, because, you know.
So that's what led to the wives being told before the news reports it.
Well, or husbands.
Yes.
Or children, if both parents are killed.
Like, how far back does this go? Do you have to tell their cousins and stuff before the TV can tell? Like,
I don't know
how
what the
far does it
specifics
extend?
of the
I don't
laws.
know.
I don't know if
their
they're
childhood
like...
best friend. Like, how extensive is this law?
Well, I always think it's weird when like someone dies and then an acquaintance of theirs an hour later puts it on Facebook as a Facebook status and they're like, oh, I don't know if I loved you, Billy. And then you're like, hey, can you like give his family a second to find out?
Yeah.
Like, why are you just now putting like a while ago, a guy I knew kind of well died. And then someone who probably knew him equally well put this up. And I mean, this guy's body wasn't even cold. It was like, just give us a day. We don't need your thoughts on this yet.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're just making it about them.
It's
nice to acknowledge somebody though, but like, is Facebook really where we have to acknowledge people? You know what I mean?
No, Facebook's dead now. I don't understand how Facebook is making any money.
the setup is so bad. Like you like to get through it. It's like I don't know. My computer like crashes by the time. It's just all these old people just like confused.
And our computers are probably faster than the old people who still use Facebook every day.
Yeah. They're on their pages. And
they're just like, I wake up at 6 a.m. I start loading up my Facebook page. By 8, I have had my breakfast and Facebook's loaded. And then I go read some propaganda that I think is news.
And I wish 3 people happy birthday that I haven't seen in 7 years.
That's the worst. I think that's the worst thing Facebook has done. Has made this expectation that I have to wish a fucking happy birthday to literally every person I've ever fucking met in my life. And if I don't care about them. But it's like, hey, I see you once a year, not on your birthday, because I'm not even invited to your fucking party. Why do I have to write on your wall and say, hey, hope you're having a good birthday? Who cares?
Wow. I didn't know you felt this so strongly about it.
I do. Don't you?
You are different. Like you just have no respect for people's birthdays or like special events.
I don't.
No.
Every day is a birthday in my mind. Let's live every day rather than waiting.
Bobby, that is such a bullshit. As if you live like every day is your birthday. Every day you eat Shreddies and you watch Battlestar Galactica. That's not a birthday. You know what I mean?
That's my birthday. I live
you scroll through Twitter aimlessly, and then click on people's profiles. Like, how is that a birthday?
What you don't understand is I actually live my dream life.
Well, that's sad. That's very sad.
I wake up, I play with my baby.
Oh, that's
I kiss my wife on the head. It's good.
Yeah. But I think this is a good chance to just point out that you do need to get better at thoughtful gifts for people's birthdays.
You've been pointing this out for 10 years.
It doesn't make any difference, so what's the point?
I got you a Mother's Day present. Well, Mabel got you a Mother's Day present.
Yeah, but it was 3 days late.
Well,
And I spent Mother's Day on my own because you had COVID. I had the bleakest day.
That wasn't my fault.
I wasn't allowed to go near anybody because you had COVID. And then I just managed to walk into the market. And then I just turned a pram too quickly. And then a man yelled at me and said, watch where you're going with your pram. And I burst into tears. It's just the saddest day. And then you said, oh, the present I got is a bit late. I'll be here at some. Didn't even push a card under the door or order me any flowers or anything.
I had COVID, Harriet.
Bobby, you had a holiday. You had the best holiday of the last year where you just watched TV and hung out with the dog and didn't have to do any chores.
It was good COVID, I think, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
you got a good COVID.
Yeah, I had, listen, my COVID was a dry throat for a day, and I gotta say, it was a nice vacation from being a parent.
No, but I just think maybe you need to start thinking about it the month before. You need to get in your head 21st of May. That's when I need to start thinking about Harriet's birthday. You have to plan ahead. This is the problem.
I already know what I'm getting for your birthday.
Really?
Yeah. A trip to Antarctica alone. But if you don't want to go, that's cool. That's your present. Do you want to go?
No.
Too bad. That's your present. The thing is, I think my moral defense comes from where you say, well, what do you want for your birthday? And I say, I don't want anything. Your love is enough for me.
Yeah, that's because it's not your love language. If I said your love language is quality time, so maybe I'll just say, don't worry about it. Don't need to spend any time with you. Or touch you, physical touch as well. I'll remove touch and quality time. You remove gifts and we'll live a happy life where both of us are miserable.
Yeah, I don't know if people know what a love language is.
Well, they need to get with the program quickly. A love language is basically how you display love. And so Bobby's love language is physical touch and quality time. I did this on stage. That's one of my jokes. But mine is acts of servitude and gifts because I really love gifts and acts of servitude. And basically me and Bobby were with the wrong people because Bobby does not care about
but we're in it now. We're not going to get out of it now.
No, yeah, no, I know. But you could improve. We don't have to just accept. It's not like jail. We have to just accept a sentence. You can do things to improve your time. People in jail sometimes
people in
learn
jail.
a language.
Where did jail come from
people
in this analogy?
Learn a language or they better themselves. You can continually better yourself.
Okay.
And get me gifts. Because it doesn't have to be expensive. It's just like the thought. It's like romance. Like I keep seeing things of people being romantic. It would just be nice if you were romantic. Red could work on that too. You're going to tell me a fact now about the Soviet Union. That's
Just
not
because
romance.
Just because you chastised me, I'm going to read another fact.
Oh, God.
In 1959, Bonanza premiered as the first regularly scheduled TV aired in color. Now, I gotta say, Bonanza was a huge hit show, but
I don't know what it is.
it's like a Western
No,
cartoon, like not cartoon, Western like show.
not for me.
But imagine how, like you've been on TV shows. Imagine what an advantage it would be to be the only show in color. Like, because even if you watch a great black and white movie, it's pretty boring. And it's pretty hard to like engage.
Why
with
did they
what
do it in
you're
black and white in the
watching.
first place? Why didn't they just do it in color in the first place?
It wasn't a choice. They didn't have the
Yeah, it's just like-
technology.
This is stupid.
Do you think if I put you in a room with like all the available tools, Harry, you could just design a color television? You think it's that easy?
If I was going to, I wouldn't design a black and white one first.
Well, I mean,
I'd
it's-
design a color one first.
I think someone
Makes more sense.
Well, it was like photography. They made color photography first, right?
I don't know.
They made black and white photography.
I like the photos when the photos are, and there's the fairies in the bottom of the garden. Do you remember that?
No?
There's
What do you
like,
mean?
There's like a man and there's like he like and like I think it was like the like I never always get confused about like how you call the years. Like it was like the late 1900s. It was like 18 something. Yeah.
What?
Well, no, oh no, that's the 18th century. No, hang on. What you say the year before? Do you know what I mean? So if you say the late 19th,
What century are we in right now?
I don't know.
What century is this? Guess. Guess what century we're in right now, Harriet. What century are we
No,
in?
this is the thing. You say 21st century, but it's 2022, so it's the year in advance. Why do they do that? It's so annoying because it makes it so hard to say. It's like it's the
Because
19th,
it is the 21st century.
but then it says 2022.
Yes,
So then
but the first 100 years was the first century. Then the second 100 years was the second century.
It just makes it difficult. I think we could just wipe that out. Like, what have you ever done that year? Like, nobody's looking at that year. You know what I mean? Not much happened. So
Wait, you're saying not much happened at the year zero?
prove me wrong.
Jesus was born. That's
no, but
when
after
Jesus
that, in
came.
the hundreds after that. Oh, I guess Jesus died and then Jesus came back in.
That was
Was
all
that only
pretty in
2,000 years
rapid
ago?
succession. Yeah.
That's mad.
I've said this before, but you know my grandma, 102, right?
Yeah.
So when you think of her lifetime, 20 of her lifetimes, 20 of her, right? 20 of her
That's
lifetimes
it,
in a
back to
row
Jesus.
is Jesus.
That is mad.
Isn't that insane? You think of 2,000 years as so long, but actually it's just 20 old ladies stacked on top of each
They
other.
don't have to be stacked on top of each
Well,
other.
like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's-
it's their
you
own.
made
their-
it sexual. You
No,
made it weird. Why are they
I didn't think
stacked
it's
on top
sexual
of
at
each
all.
other?
I'm not saying it's sexual. I'm just
They
saying
can
that
just be standing next
No,
to each
they're-
other or
it's
seated
like
in a
their
chair
life-
because they're old. Let them have a chair.
It's their lifespan stacked atop each other.
Yeah.
One of them lives 100 years, tags in, dies. The other one lives 100 years, tags in, dies.
I'd love to just see those ladies just like stood next to each other.
20
and see,
old
like,
ladies
the
later
difference.
is Jesus. That's
Yeah, but
fucking
no,
crazy.
the thing is though, in 100 or something, no woman was living to 100. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Actually, that's not true. In the Middle Ages, so in the Middle Ages, people would often die young. But if they made it past like 35, 40, they had a very good chance of then
Yeah.
making it to 80 because like they clearly had a robust immune system and they'd beat like, you know, syphilis and the plague and like
them were not women.
women just live longer than men. Oh, the childbirth would take you out sometimes.
Oh yeah, the childbirth that they had to do 20 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them wanted kids. You wanted a child with me.
Yeah.
How you feeling about the second kid?
I was really into it, but now the thought of it again is overwhelming. I will say. I think when we sorted childcare, it'll be easier to comprehend. But sorry,
Are you yawning now?
I'm so tired. I can't believe you made me do this.
Jody, how long have we talked for?
That's an hour now.
Okay.
Thank God.
Okay. I'm going to do the last segment.
Great.
Which is called Dick of the Year, Harriet. It's the biggest dick of that year. That's what we're talking about.
How do you know?
Wait, what do you mean, how do I know?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I select every episode, if only you'd listen to the thing I've been putting all my fucking time and energy into once. Every episode of this podcast, we select the person that we think is the dick of the year.
Oh, I thought you meant like the biggest dick. Like I was like, how do you know like who has the biggest dick? Like of the year? Like,
Wait, so you thought
you
I'm
just
talking...
said the biggest dick of the year. So
Okay, my tired, dying wife. All right. In 1959, 21 students were killed and more than 100 injured when an North American F-100 Super Sabre jet crashed into a elementary school on the island of Okinawa.
You love these bleak facts and bleak stories. Like, I don't need to hear about this.
The pilot ejected
so sad.
before the plane struck the school.
Oh, great. But all the kids died.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Glad he saved himself.
And I would say that guy, dick of the year. You're in a plane. It's headed toward a school full of children. And you're like, oh, God, I might get injured. Better get out of this plane.
No, but imagine that. So you'd be like, he might not have known it was going to the school, so he might have pressed eject. He was like, yes, my parachute is working, I've got it, and just like slowly like come down to land, and he'd been so happy, and then he'd just look over to the horizon and the plane would go into the primary school, and he'd be like, no.
And then Curb Your Enthusiasm music plays.
Oh, that's bleak.
I thought I was a good pilot.
Is this how you end the podcast every time? It's like a bleak story.
Thank you to all of our super geniuses. Without you, this podcast would not be possible.
What are you talking about?
Just trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
Okay. I don't know what you got into.
Our super genius Patreon subscribers.
Oh, I thought you were saying like, you know, in QI, like they have the elves. Like I thought you were saying that you had people that wrote this stuff, and I was like, who the fuck?
No,
Who the fuck people wrote this stuff?
You'd assume, of all people, that your own wife would have a sense of how your podcast works, but she doesn't. So I am thanking the 3 people who are our super genius patrons.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Matthew, Christopher, and Safi. Without you, we would not be able to do this podcast. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew, Christopher, and Staffy.
Thank you. And with that, thank you to my wife.
But do you not have to like talk about the Patreon? Do you not talk about the Patreon? Like you have to tell people like what to do and how they can be a super genius. You've just been doing this the whole time, just not advertising it.
Harriet.
Do you want me to tell people there's a Patreon? You can join, you get an extra episode. We've got to record that next. So you get access to that. I'll be even more tired. And you can be a super genius and get a thank as well. And what else do they get?
Yeah, so
You should do this every episode. This is absurd.
Harriet, I was going to do it.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the episode and just slot it in.
We've already done the beginning. You're too late.
No, but you slot it in before the
Okay,
episode.
we do it at the end as well. Remind people. They might have switched off ages ago, but if they're still listening, then you're like, get them, you know? These people must really like it if they're still listening.
If you're listening to this exciting ending that Harriet's concocted for us, go to patreon.com/theyearispod. What?
Did you say patreon.com?
Patreon.com/theyearispod and subscribe to the fucking Patreon so I can get enough money to leave this woman. Thank you very much. If you're listening, just please help me. Goodbye. Fuck.
Hello, everyone. If you enjoyed me being mean to Bobby, then you can come and see me on tour around the UK. I'm going to all sorts of places, including like Warwick and Canterbury, where I'm from. Colchester, that's a big one. It would be helpful if you book tickets to that. It's in the autumn. I'm also in Edinburgh at the Monkey Barrel every day doing the Fringe and doing Soho Theatre. And it'd be absolutely lovely if you came.
Where do we get tickets?
And you can get tickets on www.harrietkemsley.com. And I am usually much nicer. It's just Bobby's energy. I'm just reacting to it. Can I see my baby now?
Yeah, go see your baby.
That was another episode of The Year Is. Thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. Leave us a review. It all helps. I'd like to thank our producer, Jody. And also I'd like to thank Josh Weller for our intro music and song. It's very catchy. It's very nice. I'm sure you will enjoy it at the beginning. So big thanks for Josh Weller. He's on Instagram at Josh Weller. Josh Weller. Follow him and keep spreading the word of The Year Is. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.